I used to think the answer to almost every problem in my life was the same, just to leave. Leave the job, leave my town, leave my routine, leave the version of myself I didn't like. It always felt like my life would finally begin somewhere else, somewhere better, somewhere I'd finally feel like I belonged. And for years, I convinced myself that if I could just escape my current situation, everything would fall into place. Maybe I'd become happier, more motivated, more confident, more successful. I wasn't dreaming about building a life. I was dreaming about escaping one. And I don't think I was the only one. The idea of escaping has quietly become a part of modern life. We dream about moving abroad, quitting our jobs, and starting over, deleting social media, leaving everything behind and beginning again somewhere nobody knows our name and who we are. There's something strangely comforting about believing that our problems belong to the place we're standing. Because if that's true, then all we have to do is leave. But rarely life works like that because wherever you go, you take yourself with you. And I think that's the hardest lesson I've learned over the last year. Changing your environment can change your life, but it won't automatically change you. Yes, you can move to another country, find another job, meet new people, and start a new routine. But if you're carrying the same fears, the same doubts and habits, eventually they'll just catch up with you again. Not because change doesn't work, but because real change starts somewhere much less exciting. It starts with us, ourselves. For a long time, I thought I wanted freedom, freedom from work, responsibilities, freedom from routines, and just freedom from feeling stuck. But looking back, I don't think I wanted freedom at all. I wanted relief. There's a difference. Freedom gives you possibilities, but relief makes the discomfort stop. I think I spent years chasing relief while calling it freedom. The strange thing is that escaping isn't always dramatic. Sometimes it's so ordinary that we don't even notice we're doing it. We scroll because we're bored. We watch another episode because we don't want to think. We stay busy because silence just feels, well, uncomfortable. We fill every spare minute with something, not necessarily because we enjoy it, but because we're trying to avoid something else. Sometimes we even chase success for the same reason, not because we actually want success itself, but because we hope it will finally make us feel enough. I think that's why self improvement can become so addictive. And I know that because I've been there. I convinced myself that the next routine would fix everything. If I woke up earlier, tracked every calorie, read more books, and worked harder, if I'd just gone and optimized every single hour, eventually I'd become the person I wanted to be. And for a while, it actually worked. I became more disciplined, more organized, more productive. But underneath all that, I was still trying to escape. I wasn't building a better life. I was trying to outrun an uncomfortable feeling. And the problem with running away from yourself is that you're always going to be there when you arrive. You can't outrun insecurity. You can't out optimize loneliness. You can't become productive enough to stop doubting yourself. Eventually, I realized I was solving the wrong problem. I wasn't missing discipline and I wasn't missing motivation. What I was missing was connection. Looking back now, I think the biggest turning point wasn't changing my routine, it was finding community. When I walked into my first Muay Thai class, I wasn't looking for purpose. I wasn't there to try and find myself. I just wanted something productive to do. And somewhere along the way, without even noticing, things started to change. I stopped thinking so much about escaping my life because I was finally participating in it. I wasn't wondering who I wanted to become every day. I was just turning up, learning, failing, getting a little bit better, meeting new people, laughing and having conversations. and most important of all, just living. Months later, I started Brazilian Jiu Jitsu, and the same thing happened again. I realized confidence doesn't arrive because you finally have life figured out. It grows because you keep putting yourself in situations where you don't. Every class reminded me that nobody expects you to be perfect. You just have to keep showing up. And there's something strangely comforting about that. Even this channel has become a part of that journey. When I uploaded my first video, I honestly expected nobody to watch it. Now I recognize names in the comments, people recommending books and challenging my opinions, and most importantly to me, sharing their own experiences. And some of you have been here for weeks now. It's strange because we've never actually met, yet somehow it still feels like a small community. And I think that's what I've been searching for all along. Not an escape, but a place to belong. I think that's why escaping never worked, because I wasn't actually trying to leave my circumstances. I was trying to leave the feeling that they created. And that's a completely different problem. One requires changing where you are, the other requires changing who you are. And I think most of us confuse those two. Sometimes we think the answer is another city, another relationship or job, another goal, and another version of ourselves. And yes, sometimes it is. Sometimes changing your environment really does change your life. But I don't think that's where real transformation happens. The environment simply gives you the opportunity. The work still belongs to you. These days, I don't spend too much time thinking about escaping, if any at all. I spend more time thinking about building friendships, building routines that actually make me happy, building skills. I mean, even building this channel, building a life that I don't constantly feel the need to run away from, because I think that's the difference. When you're always trying to escape, you're constantly looking towards the exit. When you're building, you start looking around. You notice the people beside you, the conversations, the progress you've already made, the ordinary moments that slowly become your life. I still don't have everything figured out. There are still days where I question what I'm doing, days where I wonder whether this channel will ever become what I hope it can, and days where I feel like everyone else is somehow moving faster than I am. But those thoughts don't control me the way they used to, because I don't need to escape them anymore. I just let them pass. Then I keep showing up. Maybe that's what growing up really is. Not finding the perfect life, not escaping every uncomfortable feeling, but slowly building a life that's worth staying for. A life where you don't wake up every morning looking for the next exit. A life where the future isn't somewhere else. It's something you're creating today. One conversation, one habit, one friendship, one class, one upload, one ordinary day at a time. Because maybe escaping was never the answer. Maybe the answer was building something you never wanted to leave. And honestly, I think that's a much better way to live.